Welcome into Leveraging Your Reality, where mindset meets movement. I'm Shavon Camper, your partner in growth as you become a healthier parent, a healthier you, a healthier spouse, and a healthier leader. Today, I have a really interesting topic. Yesterday, I was on a call with a client, and she was saying all these things to herself that just were not the truth. And I posed, hey, would you ever accept lying in a relationship? And they're like, no. I said, so how come you accept lying to yourself? And it was one of those moments of, I'm going to give you some facts to show you that what you're saying is so far from the truth about yourself, it's not even funny. So after presenting the facts, it's like, well, I guess what I said wasn't true. It is so mind blowing how we will be all hard about, I want to be with somebody that doesn't lie to me. I want to be with somebody that is honest. I want to be with somebody that's emotionally open, that's willing to grow and step out of their comfort zone. But at the same time, in relationship with ourselves, we don't do those same things. We will lie to ourselves. We will try to suppress our emotions, and we will push against stepping out of our comfort zone. All the very things we don't want to do for ourselves, we're often asking other people in relationships to do those things for us just so we really don't have to do them for ourselves. Like, sit with that for a moment. Really sit with it, because we spend so much time trying to get the other people around us to be a certain way, the way we want them to show up for us, when in reality, we haven't given the same effort in the relationship with ourselves to show up the way we want other people to show up for us. We don't do it for ourselves. Oh, I remember there was this time I was frustrated with my husband. My husband was always working. Like, he works a lot. He's in the grind, hustle, go. And I'm like, spend time with me. I just want you to spend quality time with me. And I had been on this journey of like really establishing that there is a relationship with self. Like, not only do we have a relationship with other people, we have a relationship with ourselves. And I was evaluating the quality of the relationship with myself. And part of that evaluation was asking myself, hey, whenever I'm asking somebody for something else, question, have I been willing to give that thing to myself? So after I heard myself doing my wham, 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 you don't give me, I went to my journal and I was like, hey, Shavon, do you give you quality time? And I was like, not really. And it was just one of those moments of just straight hypocrisy. Like, I want you to give this to me, but I'm not willing to give it to me. That's like no ownership and no accountability when it comes to me, but I want to go place that on everybody else. That's not fair. It's not fair in relationships. A lot of times it is why relationships are struggling so much, because we are constantly asking of others to fulfill our deficiencies, and we're not willing to deposit in ourselves in those same type of ways. It's just something to really like think about and look at, so that when we're in relationships, we're not so busy trying to suck everything from that person to fill our deficiency. Like, we have to be willing to do it, to really do the hard work ourselves. I'm not saying no, we don't need people or don't be in relationship. What I'm saying is, like, we have to stop lying to ourselves. Like, seriously, stop lying to ourselves. Like, even when you think about stepping out of your comfort zone, right? Doing something outside of your comfort zone is essentially taking on some task or activity that you're unfamiliar with. And in those unfamiliar moments, what tends to happen is our mind comes up with all the data and facts to prove that this situation is dangerous and we should not go anywhere near it because we might die. Not a literal death. Sometimes it's an emotional death or a public death. What will people think of me? And we stop ourselves from stepping in that, out of that zone. It's like if I talk about, oh, babe, I want you to be more vulnerable with me, and I'm really not, I'm trying to stuff away my emotions. I'm angry. I don't want to talk about it. I don't even want to acknowledge that I'm angry. I'm fine. How can I then ask you to be vulnerable for me? I'm not willing to do that joy for myself. It's crazy. And you all know I talked about it in my first video that like me coming on lives and doing this was like a no-go for years. I am not doing this. But I've been in this space of no, I have to go where business is taking me, because I do work that's of service. And whenever you're serving, you have to be willing to go beyond yourself. Me not willing to do lives is about me, the individual Shavon, and it's also me holding myself back from testing out my comfort zone. It was so interesting is I find that the more I challenge myself to step out of my comfort zone, the more I actually am at home within myself. Like after doing this, like, yes, it's hard, it's uncomfortable. And in the beginning, like there's a whole lot of, I say like, this is real clunky right now. You're getting the most clunkiest version of me that you'll ever get, because it's the beginning. And as I continue to go on, it will get better, because I'm going to work to make it better. But sometimes we won't step out of our comfort zones because we want to start perfect. It's like, hold on, let me do some more research. Hold on, let me do some more practice. Let me do. But it's like, I say I want to be vulnerable. I want to encourage my clients to be vulnerable. But I also have to present vulnerability. Like it is vulnerability for me to come out and start this uncomfortable and clunky and not really knowing what I'm doing. And like that's the difference between like when coaches do the work and when they live the work. I want to make sure that as I talk to all of you and engage with any of my clients, it is clear that I don't just do this work, I live it. And to live the work of growth is difficult, it's challenging, and it constantly requires you to look at yourself in ways that are hard. And we're not even taught to evaluate ourselves. We're taught to evaluate others. And what I challenge all of you to do, including myself, is to continue to look at you, look at the relationship that you have with you, and challenge yourself to the very things that you are requesting and asking of others. Ask, do I do this? Man, it's so real, because you know that saying with parenting where they're like, do what I say, not what you see. It's something like that. I don't know it exactly, but y'all know what I mean. And essentially, it's like, listen to all that I say, but don't watch anything that I do. Yet that's how kids learn. They learn by what we do. So if I'm over here telling my kids to be courageous and I'm not being courageous, man, I'm being a terrible model of courage. I can't tell my kids to take risk and they don't get to experience me taking risks. I can't tell my kids, talk to me about it, tell me about it, if I'm not willing to be open. So as we close out this Friday, I really just want to encourage all of you to look at, what am I asking from others, and am I willing to give that thing to myself? Hey, what am I asking for my kids? Am I doing it for myself? What am I asking for my spouse? Am I doing it for myself? What am I asking from my team? Am I doing it myself? So as you continue on this journey with me, remember remember that growth isn't always easy, but when you're doing it in partnership with others, it becomes a lot more possible. If you like this content, be sure to subscribe below, share it with someone who needs the message. We don't grow alone, we grow together. Until next time, keep showing up and keep leveraging your reality.